How do? Beautiful day today, guys. It's not warm like, got my sweatshirt on, but it's a beautiful day. Taking a few days off, me and Lee. Got a bit of a plan now, and away we go. So what I'm going to talk about today, being asked to talk about racism in the prison service. One of the things I was challenged by a few people was the fact that when asked about racism, that I couldn't really comment. I haven't been involved in many racist incidents. So here's the thing, yeah. Just like the prisoners who knew me, yeah, knew who to go to if they wanted something doing, yeah, let's not go to that officer because he's got fuck and off on his hands. We'll go Mr. Samworth or Mr. Haig, bless him, on K-Wing, and other people. Officers also get to know their audience. What do I mean by that? Well, the bad officers, yeah, the bullies, they also know what I'm like. You know, a lot of people would find me, what's the word, a sellout, because I'm not putting up with none of that nonsense. Hold on, guys, got the old mic stuck there. There we go. Just let me give Lado. Incidentally, Lee, the tech guy, has got Steve some new toys. So he's not sold you out on that front. Come on, kid. Yeah, they know their audience, get to know their audience. The bullying of prisoners, beating prisoners up, less so in my day. You know, we've got cameras on the landings and things like that. It still happened, but not so much. And like I say, no rough play in front of me. And other staff, there were other staff as well. I've seen plenty of staff call people out. Been in situations, a senior officer or principal officer, remember the line? We've got prison officer, senior officer, principal officer, governor. Somewhat similar now, different names. Principal officer, give it him. Staff who's actually got somebody restrained. What do you mean by that? Give it him. No. Get some other staff in here. We're having none of that. He's under restraint. We'll take him to the seg. You want to escalate this, get somebody to do your dirty work, not us. Plenty of people challenging people. And somebody else said, and it's been said a few times, all them people who said bad things and not done anything out of it, or done anything about it, sorry, should be out of the job. They're as bad. Well, here's the thing. Some days you think that, some days you don't. But if all them good people had left the job, it would have been a dark place. A really dark place. I speak to a lot of officers who've done a lot of time. Really good chats. I mean, way more time than me. You know, the good old days weren't so good. And they talk about racists and bullies. Same names keep coming up. Prisoners from back in the day, same names keep coming up. Not every prison officer was racist. Not every prison officer was a bully. And it's a fact. Some people, you know, who went into that job, will have been bullies when they went into the job. Others soon got into that role. You know, a lot of sheep in that job, they'll follow people, get carried away in the moment and stuff like that. Not for none of that, me. So racist incidents. I've come across racist officers who always behaved appropriately, but he knew they were racist. I come across one particular officer who was very racist. He was a black officer. And in fact, I'll tell you a little story. I'll tell you why I'll recount this story now. Because the young lady who's involved has now retired. And I spoke to her not so long ago about this incident. I went on to I-Wing me. That's a detox wing. Loosely speaking, detox, we all know what I mean. Loads of drugs on there. Everyone's on loads of medication. It'd be very difficult to detox and come off anything whilst on I-Wing, because probably every drug known to man was on there. So I goes on to I-Wing to fetch a prisoner. Excuse me, it was morning. Nice day. I-Wing exercise is out, so most of the lads are on the yard. This lass, who was lovely, used to speak to her all the time, never worked with her really, is the moves officer. So she alters the role. If somebody leaves the wing, she makes a note of that. She says this lad's probably on the yard. Piece of cake on desk, just one. I said, you've been eating cake? She says, it's my birthday. I said, is it really? Happy birthday. She says, thank you. She says, do you want the last piece of cake? Hello? I ate the cake. I forgot about that now. I picked the lad up, I've gone. Maybe a week later. You all right, love? She says, yeah, you? I says, yeah. She says, you got me in trouble. I says, me, got you in trouble? How? She says, eating that last piece of cake. I said, I don't know what you mean. So she mentioned this officer, the black officer. He came in off the exercise yard. No cake left, yeah? Where's my piece? Bear in mind, it's this lass's birthday. She's brought the cake in. Where's my piece? Mentioned my name. He had the last piece. You're a racist. Beg your pardon? You're racist. You had to save me any because I'm black. Okay. He made a complaint. Now this lass, when she's telling me this, yeah, she's not crying, but you can tell she's upset. You know, I'm apologising for eating a piece of cake that she offered me. I says, what happened? So she was made to go in front of the PO, a principal officer, with this lad and apologise to him because I ate a piece of cake. Excuse me, guys. So if you're made to apologise to someone who's accused you of something, you know, it's like admitting guilt. She didn't have a choice. There was another incident with that officer. I've told this before. A couple of lads on K-Wing. This is relevant. They're black lads, yeah. Gym boys, cleaners. They've been toy fighting. Could have been an alarm bell situation. Not always easy to see what's going on. You know, two lads having a bit of a... So I'm giving them a bollocking. So I says to one of them, come on, Stevie. That's not what I said to him. That's not what I said to him. I said to him, you know, cut it out, like taking the piss. Anyway, he started going on with himself. I said, look, call a spade a spade. So he looked at me, then he looked past me, then he looked back at me. He says, Mr. Samworth, see that officer? So I has a look. This is the black officer. He says, he thinks you're being racist. I says, what do you mean? He says, when you said call a spade, he stopped and raised his eyes. You know, give it one of them. I said, really? Anyway, we finished our conversation, no mither. A week later, Mr. Bert again, Bertie Bassett, my very vocal senior officer, Mr. Samworth. So I goes in the office. This black officer's there. He says, were you racist to two of our prisoners last week? Racist? No, Mr. Bert. What did you say to him? I said, well, they've been toy fighting. Gave him a bollocking. Said to one of them, call a spade a spade. He says, who was it? So I told him, go and fucking fetch him. Yeah, that's Mr. Burt. This guy, the other guy, the black officer's not said anything. I fetches both these lads in. So Mr. Burt asks them, both of them, Mr. Samworth gives a bollocking with toy fighting. That's done. What did he say to you? So this lad, yeah, he's on it straight away. He said, Mr. Samworth said, call a spade a spade. Mr. Burt, what did he mean by that? He says, Mr. Burt, he means say it as it is. I know what that is. The other lad says, yeah, so do I. Was he being racist towards you? No, he wasn't. Get out of my fucking office. That's Mr. Burt. Thanks for your time, get out of my fucking office. Off he went. Mr. Burt went, there you go. This officer's not happy. They had a bit of a tete-a-tete, he's gone. Yeah? Summit and nothing. Another little story come in my head. Yeah? When we're talking about putting your head above the parapet, yeah, speaking out. When I was on K-Wing, Lee, put the link in today, mate. When I was on K-Wing, yeah, bit of a whistleblowing incident. I stuck my head above parapet. People were giving me bullets, I was firing them. I was told to wind my neck in, keep quiet. Ended up in an investigation, yeah. I was always going to do that. You know, people, leave it. No. Someone is disrupting my workplace and affecting me, which they were, I'm going to say something. Stevie, come on. I'm going to say something. Leo put a link, go and have a look at that one. Reminds me of another little story. Roxy's nightclub, Sheffield. Anyone from Sheffield, Rotherham, Barnsley or whatever, probably been to Roxy's back in the day. Bit of a wild nightclub. You know, it's not sort of a posh affair. Lot of scrapping, stuff like that. Proper old-fashioned nightclub. Stood in a queue, big queue to go in. There's a dual carriageway in Sheffield. Roxy's nightclub, one side of that, behind railings. So there's three lads. We watch an incident unfold. Three lads walking down the middle of the dual carriageway. I don't know, 10, maybe 15 lads, sort of charges them. They're having it. Two of these lads sort of get off. One of them goes down. They're on him like a pack of wolves, yeah? It's getting booted and lot. In my head, me, no thought, straight over the fence. I am pissed. Shirt, brogues, trousers. I do wear trousers sometimes, guys, or did then. Rushes in. Got a couple in. Took some damage. I ended up laid over the top of this lad in a ball round his head, getting kicked in my head, as it were. So there's about 25ers in that Roxy's queue. Come over at barrier, three lads I remember. Sean Walker, bless him, he's no longer here. Very recently passed, far too young. Good lad, funny. Love and peace man, not a fighter. Stumpy, another lad. He was called Stumpy for obvious reasons. Short, Stumpy. Another funny lad, sadly no longer here. And old Norman. Norman's still around. He's on my Facebook friends. They come out barrier and maybe a couple of others. Yeah. Supporting me and saw what had happened. We all took damage. Usually the case, it had drawn a lot of attention. People start going off. This lad's on deck. Yeah. He's not unconscious. Somebody's phoned an ambulance. It's all getting sorted. Back over at barrier, into queue. I got claret on my shirt. Don't know where I was bleeding from. Couple of things about this, yeah. There were a couple of hard lads with us, really hard. Yeah, and there were 25 of us. They didn't come out barrier, didn't involve them. This is what happens nowadays, guys. So they've seen it, might not agree with what's going on, but they didn't come out barrier. Finish the story. we're getting near to getting in, yeah, bouncers would walk up and down the queue at Roxy's. If somebody were too pissed, yeah, you're not coming in, you're not coming in. He gets to us, one of them looks at me, you're not coming in. Claret all over your shirt. I didn't argue, I was ready for going. One of the others went, have you just been out barrier? I said, yeah. Come in. Who were with you? Stumpy, Norman. Yeah, straight to the front of the queue, let us in. That were a nice little squeeze there. So not everyone is going to get involved in stuff. Not everyone, you know, is going to say anything or act on anything. But you need them good people in there. I haven't really talked about racism, have I? Apart from that little incident. The cake thing, that is a prison service for you, that. You know, good lass. She's done a lot of time, made to apologise because greedy get here at a piece of cake. I'm going to leave it there, guys. Short one, back in the game. I'm going to ask Lee, put the link in again to the Strangeways whistleblowing incident. Have a look at that, guys. I'm also going to ask him to put a link and maybe put a little clip at the end of a young man who's going to be coming on the channel. He's got a good story, really positive story. Yeah, you don't have to have been to prison. Yeah, get in touch. Let's get people on the channel. All sorts of people from all sorts of life. All right, guys. Sean's neck of the woods, Blackburn. A lad up there has asked me to talk about the situation in depth in prisons with the Muslim gangs. And again, racism. So I might have a look at doing that. Okay, guys. Stick with us. Thanks for all your positivity, all your comments, all you people who keep messaging, all you people who are struggling with mental health. I had one geezer message me the other day and said I need to cease this channel. Talking about mental health doing nobody any good. Well, I'll tell you now, I'm reacting to the people who are messaging me and the comments, yeah, lots of people. I can't tell you how many people have messaged me from psychiatric, forensic, mental health units. Yeah, keep doing what you're doing, Mr. S. Keep talking about it. One of my very good friends has just come out of hospital, Anita. Yeah, she was in hospital in a forensic unit, not well, watching Real Porridge with all the other people in there. Yeah, so I'm going to keep working towards this, you know, the mental health and everything else, and challenging the stigma. All right, I've gone on enough today. Like I say, it's a beautiful day. Try and get some rays. Hope you have the best week possible, guys. Parting shot as always. Thanks for coming. I'll see thee. I'll do part 2. Leah led this bit on while I was just thinking on diversity. So at Strangeways, we had a manager who did a good job, I think, of dealing with complaints, diversity manager. We were told that perhaps we shouldn't have a diversity manager who was white and not from an ethnic background, so we got a new manager, or we didn't get one. Somebody applied for the job and got the job who was from an ethnic background. We had a lad on healthcare, mentally unwell, but also badly behaved, and constant abuse from him. He hated me because I challenged him. He was a big lad, way bigger than me, 6'3", maybe 18 stone, very intimidating for a lot of staff, other patients, nursing staff, etc. And he used to use his size to intimidate people, but I used to challenge him and he didn't like that. Constantly abusive, white effing this, white effing that. I'm going to do horrible things. The worst sexual assaults, obviously, he's talking about to your
white effing kids, your white effing missus, constant and endless. He was challenged every time, and become very tiresome. So I put a complaint in. So this complaint was in a good couple of weeks. This lad, in between time, went to the segregation unit. He was restrained a couple of times. He attempted to throw hot water over another patient, and he ended up doing a spell down the segregation unit. So the diversity manager come on to healthcare. I was in the office, she came in. Someone had pointed her in my direction. I sat with Bradders, who was my manager. I've talked about her a lot. She came in and she said, "Are you Samworth? Are you Samworth?" That's how she said it. So, you know, I'm not for people calling me sir or anything else. If I'd have had my way, people could have called me Sam, Samuel, Sambo, whatever. Mr. S. You know, I used to call Mr. S, Mr. Sandyworth, Mr. Saddleworth, Mr. Sandy Rock, all manner of names, yeah? No problem, but she come in, "Are you Samworth?" So Bradders, being ever the diplomat, said, "Yeah, this is Officer Samworth." She says, "Right, you've made a complaint, I've investigated that complaint, and I've come to give you the outcome of that investigation." I went, "Okay, you're giving me the outcome of the investigation?" She says, "Yeah." I says, "Well, I made the complaint. You haven't been and spoke to me. How can you investigate something without getting my side of it?" She says, "Well, there's no need. I've spoke to Danny." This is the prisoner, yeah? "We had a little conversation in, excuse me if I get this wrong, guys, Patois, or whatever, like the Jamaican lingo, slang, however it works, I don't know. Excuse me, got a very rude cat here. Goose. Come on then. Come on. Come on then. Come on. No? Okay. In Patois, however you say it. I says, okay. She says, "He's assured me he likes you as an officer and it's not racist what he said to you." I said, "Have you read the complaint?" She says, "Yeah." I says, "How is it not racist?" She says, "Well, without stating the obvious, Danny's black, and a black person using the word white to a white person isn't racist." So I just looked, I didn't say anything. She said, "Are you happy with that?" I didn't say anything. She looked at my manager, she said, "Has he got a problem?" She didn't say anything. She left the unit. I complained, put a complaint into the union, put a grievance in. I was told, yeah, it's not been investigated properly, that in an outcome, it's not acceptable. However, because of her ethnic background, then just let it go, just drop it. I thought, okay, no point getting wound up or something like that. That's Boo Boo in the background, guys. He hasn't been burnt or anything else. He's a sphinx. He's a hairless cat. Say hi, Boo Boo. Another incident with this lass, she came on. The legend that is Lee. Perhaps you could put a link to this guy in the video so people could have a look. Legend that is David Charlton. Somebody put a complaint in about him being racist. So, again, Bradders, Mr. Samworth, would you show this person, the manager, the diversity manager, to Mr. Charlton's cell so she can have a word with him? I did. He was extremely racist towards her, but this was nothing new. He was racist towards everyone. You know, his language and abuse was endless. And, you know, although he was challenged on it, he didn't make no difference. So when I'd shut the door, she says to me, "You need to put a racist complaint in." I says, "Why is that?" She says, "Because of the racism towards me." I says, "You need to put a racist complaint in against him, not me. It's nothing to do with me. I'm not interested." That didn't go down well. But away she went again. She did actually put a complaint in, as is the prison service. A governor contacted me. Was Mr. Charlton racist towards the diversity manager? I says, indeed he was. He says, you need to put a race RIF they're actually called, racial incident reporting form. Yeah, you have to put one in. I said, why is that? Because it's not acceptable, he should be challenged. I said, he was challenged. I says, however, you know, if she's offended, she needs to do the complaint. I refused. So there you go. You know, these sort of incidents, they don't help anyone. It's this crazy world that we are now living in. Incidentally, somebody placed the lovely David Charlton on report for this. I don't know who. In order to place somebody on report, you need to be witnessing an event. You know, a third party can't do it. So it should have been me that placed him on report for using racist words and language, maybe. But again, the diversity manager, it was directed at her. She could have placed him on report. People don't want to do paperwork. They want you to do it. I didn't replace him on report. So without going on, the governor come to healthcare to make it easier. We took David into the association room and he was put in front of a governor for his behaviour. The governor took his TV off him for 28 days, took the gym off him for 28 days, no canteen for 28 days and various other things. That was punishment. Just to let you know, David never had a TV when he was in prison. He never ordered a canteen when he was in prison. I don't think he's ever seen a gym. So there was no punishment there. It was just a PC exercise by the prison to appease the diversity manager. Yeah. So there you go, guys. Add a little bit. Hopefully Lee will get the links in. Come on, Lee. Sort your head out. Thanks for coming again. I'll see you.
Girl, you know I love you, and I know that I can never be wrong.